Okay, welcome to our City Council meeting. Today is Monday, December 19th, 2022. It's approximately 1 p.m. Before we have our Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to ask if you please rise for a brief moment of silence as we reflect back on the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces as they protect our interests around the globe, as well as the courageous men and women of the Las Cruces Police Department and the Las Cruces Fire Department as they keep our city safe 24/7, 365. Councilor Graham, if you join me in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before Jennifer gives the Pets of the Week introduction, just want to do a big shout out, although I'm sure he's not here, but Officer De La Garza, who's back on duty, we appreciate your service and we're glad to see that you're up and about. So just wanted to point that out. So Jennifer Martinez from our communications office is going to introduce our Pets of the Week. Usually it's one dog and one cat.
It is again.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I am Jennifer Martinez with the city's communications office, and today we will start with Bernie the cat. This guy is super sweet and affectionate. He loves being doted on. He is super handsome too, and I hope my cat buddy at home is not listening because I tell him he's the most handsome cat in the world. But yes, Bernie is handsome too. Bernie's Christmas wish is to find a forever family that will let him be the prince of the house. If you're looking into adding a new addition to the family, head over to see this boy now. He is certain that he can charm his way into your heart. Ooh, and then we have Penelope. What a gorgeous girl. Penelope is a 2-year-old, very playful and curious. She can sit when commanded and is treat motivated. She's excited to go out on walks and is thrilled to spend time with people. She's good with some dogs, but doesn't really get along with cats. This girl is also looking for a new home for the holidays, so please take a little time out. If you have time to visit, please go and do so if you're interested. The Home for the Holidays adoption event is still taking place until the end of the year, where adoptions are $25. And if you're interested in a new pet for the holidays, please make the phone call to 3820018. You might make several dreams come true this year if you're giving a pet for the holidays, but please make sure you're gifting a pet to a home that is responsible, that has responsible homeowners and pet owners. Thank you, Mayor, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Jennifer. And if a bootleg copy of this video shows up at your cat's door, I didn't do it, okay? So.
He watched religiously during the time that we spent at home during COVID, sat on my lap during meetings, so.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to have our Jobs of the Week, and Giselle Palomares from the Workforce Solutions will make that presentation.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Giselle Palomares, and I'm with New Mexico Workforce Connection. For the jobs of this week, City of Las Cruces is hiring a commercial plumber that pays $20 an hour, open until filled. White Sands Missile Range is hiring a recreation assistant, and that pays $15 an hour, and that closes December 27th. Sherwin-Williams Company is hiring a delivery driver, and that pays $24,000 or $44,000 a year, depending on experience, and that closes March 29th of 2023. Navarro Research and Engineering Incorporation is hiring an administrative assistant, and that pays $26,000 or $40,000 a year, depending on experience, and that closes on March 8th of 2023. And Mesilla Valley Public Housing Authority is hiring a Senior Housing Choice Voucher Specialist, Section 8. That pays $44,000 or $84,000 a year, depending on experience, and that closes January 6th of 2023. Max Meats is hiring a driver and loader, and that pays $14 an hour, and that closes January 7th of 2023. And as always, to connect with the New Mexico Workforce Connection office, you can contact them by phone at 575-524-6250, or you can visit them in person at 226 South Alameda Boulevard. You can always download the app. It's now available on the App Store and Google Play. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Giselle. So now we're going to, before we get to the presentations and the awards, we have a video that we'd like to show you. Fortunately, it's a little blurred because it is very graphic. I did approve this. Before we begin, so this, I don't know who actually did the video, the shoot of this, but if you see at the corner near that traffic signal, there's a person who was arrested, who was beating up someone with a bat. And then who's going to be honored a little bit later on is a gentleman who literally just got out of the hospital for what I understand, there was a crack in his spine, his back was broken, had just received some treatments. He saw what was happening somehow through his ability to overcome that pain. He stopped this person from probably getting killed.
Hey, up and down there.
Okay, I think that's it. Do you have one with Chris Allen on there? So Chris Allen is the gentleman who prevented that, as well as also.
So we're at the corner of Pacho and 17th Street, where there was just a terrible beating of a man. And I just pulled off the road to try to stop it, and as I was getting out of my truck, this man ran and tackled the guy with the bat. He was beating a man within inches of his life with the bat, and this man just jumped out. Thank you, sir, for what you did.
You're welcome.
I was so glad that I did not have to do what you did. And then I jumped on top of this man who was on top of the guy with the bat. And then the guy with the bat had a friend who got the bat and threatened both of us with the bat if we didn't get off of him. Anyway, they just got here with the ambulance and the police. I just want to say thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And you just got through coming from the hospital,
Yes.
getting injections in your back.
Spine injection.
Spine injections. You
Yeah,
can tell
there's
he's
still
been
a block in my spine.
in the
I broke
block
my
in his,
spine.
he has a broken spine. He has a broken spine, and I saw him running at full speed and tackled this man. That was amazing, sir. Thank you. Do you want to give your name or not?
My name is Chris.
His name is Chris.
Everybody can do it.
Not everybody would have done that, buddy. I pulled up and I was having second thoughts myself. I was going to do it, but
Thank you, Christine. So if I could ask if Chris Allen is here, and Chris, and then also Randy McMillan, I believe, is Randy here? Can you join us? So Randy also assisted. Chris was primary, and Randy, when he saw what was happening, he also jumped in to help. Chris did probably the majority of it. That's why he's going to get the bigger plaques. You want to join me on my right here? And his employer was aware of him being hurt, so it's not one of those you've seen on the videos where they claim to be on work comp and they really can do all that stuff, but it's all been verified. So Chris, I don't know what to say. Sometimes I know you, especially today. Today's just a different time in all over the United States, all over the world. But you forewent your own pain to see someone who was getting really beaten up, especially with a bat. You could hear, maybe the public couldn't, but you could hear. I've seen the video, and it was just incredible for you to just, without any regard to your own safety, just to stop a fellow human being from getting literally, possibly killed. That was bad. So I have this award I'd like to present to you. It's called the Mayor's Distinguished Service Award. Chris Allen, in recognition of your commitment and dedication helping make Las Cruces a better community this December 2022. Okay, so this is the Mayor's Distinguished Service Award. Let me give this to you real quick. And I want to read this also. This is a proclamation. Whereas Chris Allen was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico on January 5th, 1977, And whereas Chris Allen served the United States Armed Services Army Branch from February 1995 to February 2000 as the 11M Infantry. And whereas Chris Allen worked as security personnel for concert events, county fairs, and private security for clients. And whereas Chris Allen has been an active community member of the City of Las Cruces through community engagements, volunteering his time for those in need. And whereas Chris Allen is a man who acts instinctively on his training from the military and as security personnel. And whereas Chris Allen displays acts of human kindness by taking action with community members and ensuring their safety comes first, far before himself. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and City Council of Las Cruces, New Mexico, do hereby proclaim today, Monday, December 19th, 2022, as Chris Allen Day in Las Cruces, attested to by Christine Rivera, City Clerk, and signed by myself, Ken Miyagishima. I asked if you want to say a couple words, and obviously you could tell how humble he is, and but thank you again very much. And I've got one here for, tell us really, what did Randy do? I'm just kidding. I know Randy, the same thing goes for you. You know, you're a very successful businessman here. You grew up here, and I know you've probably never seen the things that we're seeing both in our state, our city, and our nation. And again, also to you, without any regard to you, and you could have got hurt as well. We have no idea what these gentlemen could have had. You never know. But you saw Chris doing his thing, and you jumped in there to help as well. And so I'd like to present to you the Mayor's Citation for Community Service to Randy McMillan in recognition of your commitment and dedication to helping make Las Cruces a better community, dated this 19th day of December 2022, signed by myself, Ken Miyagishima.
I'm a healthy man, and yes, I stopped to help. And Chris beat me to the punch, which I was so grateful of, and with a broken back, and I have verified the fact that he has a broken back and was coming from the hospital getting treatment. He ran at full speed and tackled this guy, and I jumped on top of both of them and held them on the ground. And the other guy came along with a bat that was helping the other guy and pulled the bat out and threatened both of us that if we didn't get off of his friend, he was going to do to us what they had been doing to this other guy. So we stood up, and Chris's wife came up when the other man had the bat. She should be up here as well. She stepped in, and another man that took the video stepped in, so the four of us were there. And they did not hit anybody else, but none of us had a broken back. And I had serious thoughts about whether or not I would step into this. I would, and I did. But with a broken back, I don't know that I would. And you know, it's a clear picture of the gospel. Greater love hath no man than would give his life for saving someone else. And Chris did that. So anyway, he's not going to talk for himself, so I'm going to talk for him. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. And thank you, Mayor.
Chris, again, thank you very much. You know, I often wondered what training you may have had to do that, and you know, anyone. Of course, we're so thankful for our veterans, but I probably explained that you were infantry, so yeah, I mean, you're used to that's what you do. So. That in concerts. But thank you for being there and for doing what you did. That's a great act of heroism. Thank you. Okay, I want to ask if these two gentlemen, Doug Boberg and Matthew Holt, are here. I see them in the back. So I have to tell you, For many of you who may or may not know, of course, I've been in public office, fortunately, since 1992. And when I started, shortly thereafter, a few years later, there was a movement with this fellow by the name of Doug Raines and also this gentleman here, Doug Boberg, and then later, a little bit later, Matt Holt, which Matt was is a big, well, he's semi-retired, but he is a big-time attorney here, had probably one of the largest law firms here in town, and very giving. He helped put those showers and all the other restroom facilities there at Camp Hope. But I wanted to recognize these gentlemen because time and time again, for Just a Child, they want to make sure that people have jackets, people have clothes to wear, especially today, as cold as it's been getting. I often think about those migrants there in El Paso. I mean, it's freezing, it's cold, and but you all do your best to make sure everyone has something to wear here in Las Cruces, here in Doña Ana County. And so I wanted to present to you, gentlemen, this Mayor's Citation for Community Service. This is to Doug Boberg in recognition of your commitment and dedication to helping make Las Cruces a better community, dated this 19th day of December 2022, signed by myself, Ken Miyagishima. And then also for Matthew Holt, Mayor's Citation for Community Service, presented to Matthew Holt in recognition of your commitment and dedication to helping make Las Cruces a better community, dated this 19th day of December 2022, signed by myself, Ken Miyagishima. You gentlemen are welcome to say a few words.
Just a Child has been around since 1984, and as Mayor Miyagishima said, it was started by a gentleman named Doug Raines here in town. Started out with dressing 15 kids that first year. We've grown it up to where it's dressing somewhere in the neighborhood of around 500 children in Doña Ana County every year. We have a tremendous number of volunteers that help us. So on behalf of all of the volunteers that work so hard for Dress a Child, we're proud and honored to accept this award. So thank you very much, Mayor, members of council. We're just very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Matthew. You know, today is a good example of why Las Cruces is the best city, not only in the state, but in the whole nation. We have community members such as these gentlemen, Matthew, Doug, Chris, Randy, and others, who go above and beyond what they need to just make sure everybody's okay. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for all that you do. And we'll get back with our city council meeting. You guys are welcome to stay. Of course, if you need to go, that's fine. All right, thank you. And now I'm going to read the conflict of interest statement. This is where I ask if any member of the city council, city manager, or any member of his city staff has any known conflict of interest on any item on the agenda.
None, Graham.
None.
None. None.
None, Flores.
Mayor, on 7.1, my husband sits on the Senate and will be voting on a number of these items. So I don't know if it's a perceived conflict, but I wanted to mention that, and I'd be more than willing to recuse myself. Thank you.
Yes, Ifo?
I'm just reporting to a none from city manager and staff.
Oh, okay. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for that. I don't think you have a particular item that you asked him to support, right? One in particular?
No, sir.
No, yeah, I
Thank
think you're good. Okay, so let's see, now we're going to go to public participation. This is where members of the public can speak to council for a total of 7 minutes, 3 minutes here on the podium, and then up to 4 minutes for an item that may be on the agenda, or 2. You're allowed twice at the podium. I usually start on my left, and I usually start with the first row. I will say that If there is something that's on the agenda, if you could wait until that item is on the agenda, that would be great. If you have to leave, please let us know, and then you can say your comments. But anyways, Denise? Yes, ma'am. Very iconic figure here in Las Cruces, Denise Chavez. Yeah. I just need you to state your name, please.
My name is Denise Chavez. I'm an author, bookseller at Casa Camino Real, and I'm here to make a statement about the Trust Building. I grew up in Las Cruces. The Trust Building is home to us. Before we had a community center, we had the Trust Building, built by Mr. Henry Trust, who is considered the Frank Lloyd Wright of the Southwest. This is a major building. And I'd like to address this briefly to Las Cruces. Las Cruces, you are my city, my family, my place of birth, and I want to thank you for giving me life and story, culture, and art. And I am distressed because vision is being eroded, lost to speculation, what is deemed progress. We're a borderland community, and the preservation of the Trust Building is important. To destroy this building where I went to prom, where the Knights of Columbus had meetings, the Pan American Round Table met, where Reuben Smith's sister Martha was married. Remember, in those days, we had no community center. I'm sure that when Madonna High School from Mesilla Park had our prom there, they donated it for free. Las Cruces has had a history of destroying its historical buildings. St. Genevieve's Church, where I went to school. Las Cruces, where I went to church there at St. Genevieve's. It's hard to imagine this happening to the Trust Building. Do we need more destruction, more loss for a city that prides itself in its history and its people? To imagine that our vision will be eroded by this is unthinkable. Where is our history? Where is our sense of who we are and what came before us? ¿Quién nos parió? Who gave us birth? What is our legacy? And I am asking City Council, the mayor, to reconsider the demolition of this building. It is who we are. It is lo nuestro. It is ours. I have been working for many years to preserve an archetypal collection of events and things, books, that signed copy of Rodolfo Anaya, that signed poster of Cesar Chavez when he came to Las Cruces when no one was there. Bishop Ramirez brought Cesar Chavez here. No one was here. It was a Tuesday afternoon. What are we going to do to house our history, our literature, our art, our culture? Consider the Trust Building as a cultural center. Doesn't have to be mine or anyone else's close to me, but consider this. As someone who knows the cultural history of our frontera, the borderland region, it is imperative to save this building. It is imperative to value lo nuestro. It is of historical significance, a place that is deeply loved and revered by our community. Action must be taken, folks. We must save this building. Please let me know how I can help. I am a community activist, but more, I'm a proud Las Cruces. This is my community. And I thank you for letting me address the group. My support is always for the city of Las Cruces. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, city councilors. And thank you, everybody here, for listening to my plea. You may not know of our bookstore, but please come over. We have every kind of book you can imagine. And we also have café de olla, Mexican coffee, always ready. So, gracias. I don't know if you have questions.
No, we can't really ask you, right? Well, I mean, I could, but I'm just going to give an update. So thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
And I appreciate your support. Gracias. Y todo en las manos de Dios. Thank you.
I will give an update in case there's others that want to speak. So Denise, I've been working with the owner as well as Senator Jeff Steinborn. And the senator asked if there was any way we could communicate to the owner if they could have just a little bit more time. He says he needs they're getting some other estimates for moving the building. And I said, well, I don't know, I'll just check. So the owner did agree to give more time. In fact, he said he'll give to the beginning of the year, or the new year. So that's another 2 weeks. Jeff, Senator Steinborn was extremely happy. So I think they're doing their best to see if they can get moved a little bit cheaper, and then they'll communicate to the group, okay? Okay, so that was the first row. Anyone on the second row? Yes, please. Yeah. Haven't seen you in a while, Kevin. Good to see you.
Wow. Can I show some slides?
Have they been cleared by the city?
No.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I'm sorry.
All right. Hello. My name is Kevin Bixby. Hello, Mayor and councilors. Good to see you all, and city staff. I've come to you many times in the past to talk about something related to the environment, but I'm here today as a private citizen. I have a small ask of the city, and that is to add additional signage to Main Street between Bowman and Griggs that informs the public that it is a tow-away zone on Saturdays because of the farmers market. And I wish I could show you my slides, but right now there are only 2 signs, one on either side of the street on Main Street, saying that that is a...
Kevin, do you have any people in that slide?
People?
Yeah, the reason why we needed
no
to see
people.
it
No people.
is because years ago there was someone who had they were showing innocently some pictures. Little did we know that they had pictures of some undercover police officers.
Oh.
So that's why after that we've always cleared it. We needed to see what pictures you're showing. So if you're just going to show us some, we're going to take it for granted. We're going to take you upon your word that there's nothing that...
I vouch for that.
Okay.
I got the pictures off of Google Maps, so.
All right, okay.
But I did not see any people.
Okay. All right, good.
So
Yeah,
can
go
I
ahead.
show them?
Sure, go
How do I do that?
Well, it looks like you can't do it from there, so...
Oh, all right.
But
Well, I will paint a word picture for you.
Okay.
So my daughter came home, my 28-year-old daughter came home from Albuquerque recently, and she's off a big new chapter in her life. She's moved to Florida. But she was staying with us for a few days, and her car was in the shop, so she borrowed our car to go out with some friends for some drinks at the Broken Spoke. So at that south end of that block, as you all know, the Amador complex, there are 3 bars, and then there are more bars between Griggs and Las Cruces. So on weekends, it's a bar destination. So my daughter met with her friends, and she overindulged, and she did the responsible thing. She got a ride home. She left her car there. The car was towed because she was in a tow-away zone. And when we went to claim our car on Monday morning from Lucchini's, all the tow truck drivers said, it's terrible, the lack of signage. We feel really terrible towing people's cars because it happens every weekend, I guess. So, $250 later. So what I'm asking is, there is 1 sign northbound on that block of Main Street. It's in front of the New America School, okay? But there are 12 parking spaces on that block on either side of the street, 12 and 12. And that sign is at the very beginning of the stretch of parking spaces. So if you miss it, you miss it. And then on the other side, there's only 1 sign in the very beginning of the block. And your ordinance says signage shall be visible from any place where the car can be towed, if it's a towaway. So I'm asking you to put in 2 additional no parking on Saturdays signs on either side of the street.
Kevin, can you email me that, those pictures, and I'll send it to IFO, and I'm sure he'll get with the Public Works Director, and we'll see what can be done?
Okay, it's a simple thing.
Yeah, well, I know, but they're going to need to verify a few things.
Yeah, all right, thank you very much.
Sure, thanks. Good seeing you. Anyone else on the second row? Third row? Fourth row? Yeah. Please come. state your name, Charles.
Good afternoon. My name is Henry Young, Director of the Gospel Rescue Mission. I'd like to read a statement and then give my request to you. It is our desire as the Gospel Rescue Mission to provide for guests at the mission, the city, and those homeless that are not on our campus. We desire to help everyone. In addition to that, it is my desire to build bridges with the city administration in order to help citizens who have a daily struggle with the homeless in certain neighborhoods. If we are all working together, we can mitigate many of the problem areas. Many of the larger urban areas in our nation are now working with the missions in their cities because missions have a great deal of experience helping the homeless, as well as the cities. These partnerships are proving to be very successful. And with that, my request is this. We have been building a building out near the street on Amador that will be used for those people who are still on the street that do not stay with us at our complex. And we want to be able to feed them 3 meals a day inside that 30 by 50 square foot building. We also desire to have them stay with us when the weather is bad or when the temperature drops below 35 degrees. Trouble is, it's already cold, it's going to get colder, and the building is still not done. However, it is dried in. The only thing that we're lacking is the sprinkler system and finishing on the inside, plus the electricity, which El Paso Electric still hasn't provided the electricity to that side of the property. Therefore, I'm asking that if we get to the point where we have to have it to let those people come inside, even though we don't have a certificate of occupancy at this time, it would be better for them to be inside a building rather than on the street. If you would consider that, I would be grateful. Thank you.
No, Henry, you can, again, send me an email. I'll send it to Evo will get with Larry. But the city really can't condone that because there's a liability. If there's no power there and something was to happen, I mean, but I don't know if you were given the option of a temporary CO or certificate of occupancy, and it's not as stringent. But anyways, please send it to me. I'll get it to EFO, and we'll see what can be done.
Okay.
On a temporary CO. Yes, sir.
And in the future, we need to cooperate together so that we can help in any way possible.
Yeah. And again, we appreciate all that you and the Gospel Rescue Mission does. They do a great job, and thank you for everything.
Yes, sir.
Just need you to state your name, sir.
Yeah, greetings, Mr. Mayor and city and staff. My name is Paul Funk. In the 25 years I've lived here, I've only filed 3 police reports, all in the last 6 months. The first concerned a man running down the street with a rock in each hand. I was going to bring one to show it to you, but the policeman at the door wouldn't let me take it in here. So he was chasing a woman jogger, a stranger to him. He also had thrown rocks at a gas station employee, someone, again, whom he had no previous contact. The police responded promptly. Thank you, our police department. When he was arrested, I was asked to testify. The police officer that was taking evidence, including the smashed car window, said that the man had been arrested numerous times and would be on the street again in a few hours. Assault and battery with a deadly weapon are no longer serious enough criminal offenses to keep someone in jail. My most recent traumatic experience concerned a man who tried to break into my home. With the help of a neighbor, we were able to track him until the police arrived. As before, he was arrested. As before, I learned that this person also had been arrested numerous times. Once again, I agreed to testify in court if necessary. Once again, I was assured that he would be on the street in a few hours. Attempted burglary following arrest for actual burglary only a week prior are no longer serious enough criminal offenses to keep someone in jail. I don't understand what has changed, and I don't understand why it has changed, but I can tell you this much. Our city can be a great place for taxpayers to live, or it can be a great place for criminals. But it cannot be both. Thank you.
Paul, let me just say, you asked why has it changed. It's a few years back, and amazingly, it was done as a constitutional amendment. It was passed by 84%, and it was basically the bail reform that put a lot more, it was more liberal to allow those that were arrested to be released on their own recognizance. One of the things that I talked about a few weeks ago was not necessarily to overturn it, but to add one more little verbiage to it, because right now it's a flight risk or danger to society. And as earlier you saw a video, even that video that didn't rise to what the legislature put in that language. And so what I was going to suggest is we could add one more wording. So it's a flight risk, danger to society, or as the courts may determine. That way allows the judge to make the call. And so I think that would really be the only way to go, to have our legislature look at that and maybe put that on as a constitutional amendment to be added on to that Bail Reform Act.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And with all due respect, and not having any training in the law, I have heard that in Alamogordo they have a habitual offender clause that also gives some teeth to the law to keep people off the streets who are in the habit of committing crime. So maybe that would be something to consider in Las Cruces, is a habitual offender.
Yeah, and that might be for misdemeanors on a little bit lower level, like breaking, smaller, less than $500 or different things. But I hear what you're saying. I really do. Yeah, yes, sir.
Mayor, City Councilor, Jake Redfern. I'm part owner of a commercial real estate firm in Las Cruces, NAI First Valley. But I'm here today not only as a frustrated business owner, but as a mad constituent and concerned parent of 3 boys who are 14, almost 12, and 9. As one of the owners of the largest firms in Las Cruces, I have witnessed firsthand the sharp rise in property damage, physical violence, and general harassment at our properties. Both our brokers and property managers have taken the brunt of the dramatic increase in break-ins, vandalism, shoplifting, and numerous other vagrant activities. In a recent conversation with Goodwill, they no longer leave their front doors unlocked at their location on Valley. Their employees were subject to constant harassment from local homeless and transients. I think it is a very sad day when an operating business can't leave their doors unlocked during their operating hours. In another instance, in the same area, an individual broke into a vacant suite in a shopping center and cut holes in the walls onto the adjacent spaces where they gained access to the businesses and ransacked their stores. These instances are in addition to the daily calls we get due to the property damage, human feces at properties, harassment by local homeless and transients, and other security concerns. As a concerned parent, I no longer feel like Las Cruces is as safe of a place to raise my children as I once did. I left Las Cruces shortly after college to work on the East Coast. I always had planned to return to raise my family, feeling that Las Cruces was a good-sized city with enough amenities for parents and a good-sized city that was big enough for kids but safe. This is no longer the case. Based off my experience in the last couple of years, I tend to go out with my guard up more now. I am concerned that I have my oldest son driving next year. Well, he will have more freedoms than he has ever had. I'm not concerned with his decision-making processes. I am concerned with our community and the risk of violence, harassment, theft, and other crimes that seem to be growing daily. I hope this body will step up and do something. I attend city council meetings regularly, as some of you know, and watch some online. This issue has been a constant item of public comment for the past year plus. I'm concerned as a constituent with the lack of action being taken by our city. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. So that was fifth row, I believe, or fourth row. Fourth row. Anyone in the fifth row? Sixth row? Yes, one.
My name is Juan Garcia, Mayor, councilors. First of all, kudos to the resilience leaders for the tremendous service they are providing the community. Also, I'd like to thank Peter Goodman for elevating the attacks on Carlos' small businesses in the local media. Carlos is the gentleman that had feces smeared on his building and other numerous attacks. On the downside, small businesses and citizens continue to be terrorized, and we will continue to advocate for those forgotten victims. I met with Vanessa, owner of Nessa's Coffee Shop on Picacho, whose window was broken, about $500 worth of damage. Nothing to gain, pure hate, because criminals know there are no consequences. I met with Livingston's Bridal and Events owner, Mrs. New Mexico, Roxanne, who got hit with about $10,000 worth of damage by the destructive Las Cruces criminal element, and Oscar's Beauty Salon, and Sally's Beauty Store, or Walgreens on North Main Street, with criminal shoppers walking out with carts full of stolen merchandise. We wrote to Representative Cadena, who represents Carlos, and Rubio, and Gallegos, Ferrari, Madrid, Cervantes, along with Senator Steinborn, Souls, Hamblin, addressing the continued attacks on Las Cruces small businesses. Zero response. Nada. How many small businesses have come and shared their suffering? Hundreds, perhaps, maybe more, but silence. So where are the New Mexico elected officials advocating for deterrence and consequences for these criminal acts? In my opinion, advocating for harsher punishment for these criminals is not a narrative of the progressive socialist agenda. Turning criminals into victims is a more suitable, quote, social justice cause. These elected officials will not go against the narrative established by the, quote, progressive socialists if they want to remain in office and in the governor's good graces. Look at how many conservative, quote, Democrats were primaried in 2020 for opposing abortion. With elections in 2023, if the hundreds of small businesses that have been terrorized meet at the ballot box, perhaps they can elect public officials who will truly represent them. Las Cruces Sun, dated 2017. When the council approved Las Cruces as a welcoming community, quote, then Mayor Pro Tem Sark stated, I feel that we need this kind of resolution so that all the people in Las Cruces can feel safe. He continued, later adding, nobody wants to live in fear. So you think about this. Let's protect those here that are criminally or illegally, but not the small businesses under attack living in fear today. My recommendation, please offer small businesses suffering a financial impact an opportunity to offset their losses that are incurred by the failure of the current political system to protect them. Number two, consider the idea of getting some of the homeless to work with some of the affected establishments in a favorable manner that would benefit both sides. Homeless don't vandalize and steal. Criminals do. Merry Christmas, and let's pray for a better new year. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. Rick, are you going to speak?
I just had two quick items.
Rick, I need you to state your name, please.
My name is Rick Renault, lifelong Las Cruces resident. The area where I work on Solano in Missouri is the cause of a lot of the stuff there is Desert Hope Apartments. Now, the county also manages those. They appoint 2 members to the board. So I want to bring them in, as well as mentioning you guys as can someone help fix the situation. And who I wanted to mention today was the press. I sent a letter to the Las Cruces Bulletin, the Las Cruces Sun News, and KRWG. Where are they? I've been here since 1960. I'm an old guy. It's never been this worse in Las Cruces. So where are they? So we'll lump them in with you guys. Now, I have one more thing to say, if I can get my phone on. It's about just a quick comment about what's coming later on. Two rent-restricted apartment complexes, one in Metro Verde, Peachtree Hills, and one on Farney, El Paseo. The city would be providing up to 15% of the total development cost for these projects. The units will be rent-restricted for 40 years. You guys don't have very much confidence in our city's economy, do you? That's not much of a show of confidence. That's built-in socialism. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. That was 6th row. Anyone else on the 6th row? 7th row? Just need you to state your name, please.
Yes, sir, thank you. Kristen Drake, Director of Business Development with Peak Behavioral Health. Also in the audience, we have our CEO, Sandy Emanuel, and Liaison, Kaylee Martinez. We were fortunate enough to attend a meeting last Friday, December 16th, convened by Mayor Pro Tem Gandara. This meeting was comprised of several key community partners focused on the prevention, intervention, and treatment of substance use. Partners included Zia Recovery, Ideal Options, Alt Recovery, FYI+, Las Cruces Fire, PD, DASO, just to name a few. We discussed current treatment options and substance use available already in the community, gaps in treatment, and proposed service types to fill these service gaps. One of the gaps identified was the need for a 28-day rehab facility. At the end of 2021, Peak realized many Doña Ana citizens were being discharged to facilities in northern New Mexico, eastern New Mexico, and even out of state for continued substance use treatment as the only treatment options available. As part of our 2022 strategic plan, Peak moved ahead with the construction of a 28-day rehab facility within our existing Santa Teresa facility. Just to summarize.
I think that was we'll give you 2 minutes. I think it was running from the last speaker.
Oh, fabulous, thank you. Okay. As we all know, the development, construction, and training involved in such a project is immense and expensive. With these costs, in addition to certification and licensure through the Department of Health, the completion of this project is slow going. Peak Behavioral and the partners present at last Friday's meeting request council backing and support of this project. With your support, we are confident we can kick this project into full gear and begin treatment sooner than later. Again, I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Kristen. I know we have in the past done a resolution to see about bringing another facility here in southern New Mexico, and I'm pretty sure we can do that again.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Anyone else on the 7th row?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Athena Huckabee. And good afternoon to the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, other city staff. I'd like to make comment this afternoon on the situation in the behavioral health unit on the 5th floor of Memorial Medical Center, commonly referred to in the community as 5 West. Memorial Medical Center knew in March of this year that 5 West would be without a medical director. The hospital had 2 employed nurse practitioners to keep the unit open throughout the summer. The providers notified the facility that they would be returning to their full-time jobs in the fall, providing MMC ample time to launch a search for a new medical director. Unfortunately, that is not what occurred. Instead, 5 West closed on August 18th of this year. Memorial Medical Center did not provide formal written notice of the closure to the community, nor an explanation, nor a plan to reopen, nor a contingency plan during this closure. The facility did not post a position for a national search until the unit's closure, and also did not post a locum position until this time. The employed NPs were willing to stay on call and at least provide mental health services to the emergency room and the hospital. However, Memorial's CEO and the executive team refused to use their services while the unit was closed because they did not want to pay for on-call services. The hospital also has telemedicine services in the emergency room, but did not expand those services to keep the behavioral health floor open. As I understand it, Memorial Medical Center's lease with the city and county includes the stipulation that services be the same as when the lease was executed, meaning that a behavioral health unit must exist in the hospital. However, over these last months, Memorial Medical Center has not been held accountable in any way. They have not provided timelines or plans, yet they continue to enjoy the benefit of the lease. Memorial Medical Center should be presenting a detailed plan of why they aren't providing these services and be penalized for each month that these services have not been provided. These plans and action steps should be transparent and be made and available and known to the public. We are in the middle of an overdose crisis as well as a mental health crisis. I know that these crises are very important to the city of Las Cruces and to this body to address, and that you're doing many things to address those crises. One way to address these issues, additionally, is to take action on this matter as soon as possible and keep the public informed of the progress. Thank you.
Hey, Bina, let me just tell you, I'm confident my colleagues as well, are very supportive of what you just said, making sure that there is the behavioral health. What I'm going to ask you is if you were able to see that in the lease. I've looked for that, and I've been told, and I couldn't find it, that it did not exist when we leased that to them, because I did bring this up to Mr. Harris, and he says, well, you all didn't have that before. So I couldn't find it in the lease. So if you somehow see it or can find it, can you email that to me, please? Because I couldn't find it.
Absolutely. I spoke with Doña Ana County Health and Human Services, and they have their attorneys looking at it as well, and did say that they were able to find that clause.
If they can find it and just send it to me, that would be great.
I will work on that.
Because I agree with you. And some of my colleagues may not be aware of this, when we did this in 2004, that was the condition. They had to keep at least the minimum what we gave them, or they can also add to it. And I brought that behavioral health up when they did close, like you said, 5 West, and and I couldn't find this. They said we didn't have that when we gave them the lease. So if you can get that information to me, I'd appreciate it. And if you don't have my email address, I can give you my card, or you can check with the city clerk.
Absolutely. Okay. I do have your email, so I'm happy to follow up.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that was 7th row, I believe. Anyone else on the 7th row? If there's more that want to speak on the 7th row, you're welcome to come to these empty chairs up here.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. I'm Sandy Emanuel, CEO of Peak Behavioral Health. There's 2 things I want to address regarding our 28-day rehab. My understanding is there's capital outlay for infrastructure, supplies, resources, and that is our request for support related to that. I also want to address Memorial Medical Center and just speak on behalf, I cannot speak on behalf of MMC, but what I can say is there was a reach out to Peak Behavioral for support in providing a medical director, and that is something that we will move forward with, which is also a cost for us related to supporting Memorial Medical Center. We want to do that. We understand their importance to the community. There are 2 other hospitals that provide psychiatric beds, of which neither one of us are full. So there are more resources in this community besides Memorial Medical, and that is something that I just wanted to address.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Anyone else on the 7th row? Okay, 8th row? Last row? Anyone else on? Yes, sir. Want to come forward?
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Hill, and I am a transplant back to what I used to call home. I grew up in Las Cruces. I grew up south of Las Cruces as a farmer. I've had many interactions with many of you, and this has been, without a doubt, the most beautiful and wonderful life that anybody could have. Over the last 5 years, my family and myself moved to the state of Texas to continue in our agriculture expansion. And in doing so, the good Lord blessed my family with a special needs child that needs medical assistance, and it's forced us to move back to Las Cruces. However, I would like to say that I did not get to move home. There is a lot of difference that has happened over the last 5 years. And coming in from time to time to get parts, to see people, to have dinner with friends, we talk about what is happening to our city, what is happening to our community, and the decay that we are starting to see. That did not become a reality to me until I got here in August. To walk into a business and watch people assaulted by a person that is obviously going through a mental health crisis. To take my 5-year-old daughter to school to explain to her why a person is defecating in the middle of the road was not what I was anticipating on coming home. This is something that I am willing to fight for. This is something that I'm willing to stand for and say that our future generations deserve more than what I see today. This is not a shame on you. This is we need to get together. We need to figure out what is going to happen and how we can put some teeth into them, like you said, Mr. Mayor. What can we do to keep people from coming back out and committing crimes over and over and over again? My wife was in the checkout at Walgreens 4 days ago, excuse me. only to be in the middle of an assault from a person behind that was trying to beat up the clerk because they weren't going to have enough money to make a transaction. We're dealing with a heart process, we're dealing with a mental process, and we're dealing with the inability for us to keep people behind bars when they need to be behind bars. Let's work together with the community, and I have no problems in sitting down and giving my ideas as many times as I need to make sure that my children have the opportunity to be safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jay.
Hello, Mayor and City Council, City staff. My name is Tabitha Granger, and I'm the General Manager for First Valley Management Group. We currently manage over 1 million square feet here in Las Cruces, and I know you guys have all heard the complaints from several business owners in Las Cruces about the homeless. In the past, I've emailed the mayor and met personally with Mayor Pro Tem Gandara. Both the mayor and Ms. Gandara have seen pictures of the devastation that happens because of the homeless. My employees on a daily basis have to deal with urine, human feces, drug needles, and at times homeless people themselves, not to mention cleaning up all the trash they leave on the property. This is a danger to my staff, our tenants, and their customers. We have even had homeless people come up and try to get into the cars of my property managers, literally opening up the doors of the cars. I would be willing to bet that if people were sleeping on your front steps, breaking your windows in your house, or digging through the trash in your yard, and even defecating on your front porch, I doubt you would allow this to happen for long. The homeless issues are getting out of control, and as a property manager of these locations, I'm finding it harder and harder to keep the value of these properties. Keeping the tenants happy, and in turn, the homeless have figured out that they can pretty much do whatever they like and nothing's going to happen to them. I've noticed the homeless are not camping in the city parks, most likely because they're not allowed to. The perception is that the city protects their properties while the business owners have to deal with the issues themselves with little or no help from the police. They're pulling copper wires from our electrical systems in our buildings, turning off the power to tenants in an attempt to get around alarms, cutting locks off roof ladders to gain access to the roofs where they can stay up there and destroy HVAC units. They break the tenant's glass, attempting break-ins. They blatantly shoplift from our tenants' stores. We even have roving security patrols at most of our properties, which ends up being excessive because the tenants pay their portion of those costs. For the businesses to stay profitable, they will have to increase their prices, making it more expensive for everybody. One of our properties has to keep a standing guard 10 hours a day due to the leases. It costs $9,000 a month. That's $108,000 a year. One property. The homeless issues are making security companies rich while we all pay the price. This damage is not limited to the El Paseo corridor. It's happening all over the cities at all our properties. So like many other people have come before you in the past about this issue, I'm begging you to do something before our city is ruined beyond repair. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha.
My name is Randy McMillan, and I'd like to thank you all for allowing us to speak to these issues today. I was born here. My dad was born here. His mother was born here. My dad's 94 years old, so I'm a native of natives. I think I've told you that before. And this place is not what it was before. It is absolutely not. In case you haven't been hearing, this is becoming a war zone. It is becoming a war zone. And I was caught up in the middle of it from what you just saw here a little while ago. I don't know if you saw that beating or you could hear that bat hitting that man over and over. I could hear it across the street from where I was. In my car, I could hear that bat hitting this man over and over and over. And I drove over there to do something about it, and the team stopped it, or that man would have been dead. And he is in terrible condition when the ambulance took him. They had to cut his boots off, broken legs. The two guys that did that, this was 2 weeks ago, the two guys that did that, they're out on the streets right now, okay? After they did that, Chris's wife and another man came up. The four of us kept them from continuing to beat us or to beat the man. And it wasn't easy. They went across the street to where they were staying in the hotel, and they kept coming back out. And they would walk back over with threatening us. His friend took up the bat and had it over my head because I was laying on the ground on top of poor Chris with a broken back, on top of the other man trying to control it. And this man who we just saw using this bat has it over my head and over Chris's head. And I told the police officers, I am going to press charges. We all have to start standing up. No one's contacted me. The DA hasn't contacted me. The judge that arraigned this let these two guys out. They're out now. I sleep with a 40 caliber pistol under my pillow because they threatened me over and over and over. They threatened me. They saw my truck. They have my driver's license, or my license number on my truck. And they kept coming back over to threaten, both Chris and I. Chris lives a block away. Chris, the man that you met this morning, lives a block away from where these guys are staying. And they let these two guys out. You probably heard recently about the man that cut the man's head off in the park up here. And when they found him, he was playing soccer with the man's head. That man is out. He's out. This bail reform nonsense that has happened is absolute destruction. And it is releasing these criminals into our community. Like I said, I'm sleeping with an automatic pistol right now. I keep it with me in my truck because these people threatened me.
Randy, I'm sorry, unfortunately you're out of time, but we get it. And
May I ask for one more minute, please? I'll finish.
Go ahead.
Please. The gift to my employees at the property management company this year, not the gift, they got a healthy bonus, but a gift was personal protection because they need it. I made a list of things that I have been affected by over the last year, just me personally, of crime. I don't have time to give it to you. There are 10 things on this list, from theft to people stole my wallet. My friends that own Shella's Restaurant have been broken into 4 times. My son-in-law, who is a dentist, his office has been broken into twice. We as a management company see this over and over and over. You all asked us to vote for you to put you in charge of leading this community. You have connections in Santa Fe. These people in Santa Fe have put these laws into place. I want to know what you are going to do about fixing this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry a gun from this point on. And I don't like to have to do that. But that's what I'm going to do to protect myself and my family because I have to. Please do something about it. I don't want to have to do that. Please. And then tell us what it is. Mr. Mayor, thank you for that extra time and for what you're doing. I know you're working with the judge here that continues to let these people out over and over and over. 60 and 70 times this judge lets them out. One last thing. The policemen have just been taken away their limited liability by our state legislature. You can sue a policeman now if he makes a mistake. In the heat of battle, these policemen go, and they have to make a decision in the heat of battle. And it's battle out there. And if they make the wrong decision, you can sue them for everything they own. How about we do the same for the judges? How about the judges that get to sit up there in their black robes and listen for several days to all the testimony, take their sweet time and make a decision, and let that person out? How about their liability, limited liability, be taken away? And how about we can sue them? If we can sue the police, we should be able to sue those judges for
Randy,
what they're doing.
We're going to have to cut that off. Well, thank you for that. And earlier during the discussion, our deputy city attorney motioned to our city manager that he'd like to work. We're going to reach out to the DA. He feels that there may be some options that can be had, and we'll keep you all posted on that. What might be able to give a little bit more teeth, which would be great. That'd be welcome, Brad. So that's great. Okay, so that's anyone else on my left before I go to the, oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for...
Can you move that microphone down, please?
Of course. Is this fine? Is this better?
Right? Yes.
Awesome. My name is Sara Felicia Ramos. I'm an immigrant from Mexico and also a proud New Mexico State graduate. I chose to live in this city because I love the city, and it's kind of like awkward because you don't have many young professionals, but I still love to live in Las Cruces for as long as I can. Unfortunately, my husband and I have been terrorized. Somebody broke into our home. They took a big rock from our backyard and they just shoved it into our door and completely broke it off. We haven't been able to sleep. We haven't been able to continue with our lives normally. And it really overwhelms me to hear all of these stories because I know I'm not the only one. After a week, we were broken into. These people came back. They drive a better car than I do, a blue Honda, and we have the license plates. We have them on camera. We made a police report. We reported to authorities twice, and we have not received an answer. These people have not been held accountable. It was a group of people. It was at least 3 people that we have on camera, and we have not received an answer from the authorities. Nobody seems like, I don't want to say that they don't care, but it just seems like there's so many things going on that my issues don't seem like they matter like other people's. It's very unfortunate what's happening in this city. I've been living here for about 6-7 years. I went to college here, like I said, and I've never felt so vulnerable in a city, especially coming from a country that we know is at war constantly. Like, women cannot walk alone in the streets, and it feels like we ran away from an issue to come to a safe city, but it doesn't feel like that anymore, unfortunately. I just want to speak up because that's what you have to do, right? And I want to thank you all for having these meetings and listening to people because it's really overwhelming, and I just need to know that you guys are doing something because you are the guys who are in power, and you guys are the people who have to speak up for us because we're so many of us that are going through things like that, and we just need your help, and that's why we're here. Thank you for listening.
Sara, I'll be more than happy to, if you don't have my email address, I can give you mine, and I can do my best to follow up and see where it's at.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate
you can
it.
either pick it up on my card or you can get it from the city clerk.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else on my left? So we'll go to the right, second row staff, third row. Anyone in the third row? Fourth row? Fifth row? Mr. Roque, haven't seen you in a while. But I still need you to state your name even though I called it out, okay?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, my name is Roque Garcia. I'm the CEO for Southwest Counseling Center. And we provide services to approximately 2,000 unduplicated clients per year on psychiatric services, mental health counseling, and all the way to Anthony, to different areas in our community here. But the reason I'm here is Mary White has done some presentations, and we've been working along with Community Service Corp, which she heads up. And we brought this project up to the local collaborative. The local collaborative behavioral health providers voted it as the game-changing project, the project that I'm going to talk about, and as something that we should support. It is what we have, it's called the Los Amigos Project, and it has a 32-bed facility here in Las Cruces that we already own. But we don't have any operations money. This year, we are actually going to the legislature, and we're asking for the legislature to fund $1.834 million the first year, $1.5 million for the next 3 years. Now, during that time, the $343,000 is considered, I'm not sure that it fits the capital outlay because it is for air conditioning, it's for furniture, it is for different things that we need in that facility to get it started. And I was hoping that that would fall into the priority list here, as the providers that we met with on Friday all said that we would support the 28-day facility and our project. It is a very needed project, and it provides services to the mentally ill, something that at this point we're lacking, the substance abuse, and to the substance use, mentally ill. What is the third? Sorry, there's for some reason I blanked out on the thing is that we would be providing the services, psychiatric services, to these people living here. It'd be a 15 to 18-month stay, and we really need it in this community. There's many people out there that are mentally ill, that are homeless, as we've all noticed, that we really do need to help. The second portion of what I need to say is we do support the 28-day facility for the Peak. And I also want to mention one last thing is the 5 West really needs to be looked at. It is a community service that we really need to support. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Members.
Okay, I have a few questions. So this Los Amigos project,
yes,
1.84, who's the organization that is going to be asking the legislature for the money?
It's Southwest Counseling Center. We own the facility, and we would be providing the services. Okay. And what we're asking the city is for the $343,000 to put it on your priorities for junior money, whether it's I know that the city has a lot of requests. I know that. But it is crucial. It's important. And that way I cannot have to ask for that amount.
Get with me later and see what we can do. Okay. Thank you for that and bringing that forward.
Thank you.
All right. So that was, what was that, the 4th, 5th row? Anyone else on the 5th row? 6th row? 7th? Anyone else on my right? Okay. That concludes public participation. Now, before we get a motion, a second to accept the agenda, we're going to need to remove 6.4 because it's not quite ready, so we need to have that removed in its entirety. But with that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved by Flores.
Second, Beta.
Okay, Councilor Flores, we're going to accept the agenda with item 6.4 being removed?
Correct.
And the second, Councilor Beta?
Yes.
All right, it's been moved and second by Councilor Flores and second by Councilor Beta with item 6.4 being removed in its entirety. Christine?
This is on the motion to accept the agenda as presented with removal of item 6.4 in its entirety. Councilor Beta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores?
Yes.
Councilor Gondeta?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Okay, so we go to item 7.1, Resolution 23-073. I need a motion and a second.
Move to approve. Second.
Councilor Curran motion, second by Councilor Flores, and Cynthia Campos will be presenting. Is this your first time presenting, or?
This is the second.
Second, okay. Have you met Councilor Flores? She's a nice lady.
Sorry. Good afternoon, Mayor and councilors. My name is Cynthia Campo. I'm the CIP analyst, and we have a short CIP amendment today. We are transferring some funds from several facility maintenance projects from the General Facilities Improvement Project, Safety, Health, Environmental and Emergency Project, Generator Buffer Program, refuse and recycling offer program to the fleet EV charger project. And this is for the installation of 6 EV chargers throughout the city for fleet vehicles. And I'm sorry, I thought I had another slide on there, but this is in alignment with Elevate Las Cruces, the comprehensive plan, with resolution number 21-152 and the climate action plan.
Well, you weren't kidding, that was pretty fast.
It is.
Any questions from council? How about members of the public? Okay, seeing none. Christine?
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 23-073. Councilor Abeyta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
Councilor Corran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores?
Yes.
Councilor Gondara?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. All right, item 7.2, Resolution 23-074.
Thank you.
Move to approve. Second, Graham.
Motion made by Councilor Abeyta, second made by Councilor Graham. And Dr. Tim Pitts will be making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. What we have for you today, Tim Pitts from Deputy Director of Community Development. What we have for you today is the fee schedule. We last adopted a fee schedule in 2020, and so we're asking you to take a look at a new one to go into effect in February of 2023. So that's about 2 years. It was November of 2020 that we adopted the last one. So it's about 2 years. That's about our aim right now is to bring them back every 2 years with some modifications depending on the current circumstances. So this resolution will repeal the resolution 21019, which was that 2020 fee schedule, and adopt this 2023 schedule. We, based on our analysis of the budget and our expenses, we do not recommend an across-the-board increase to fees at this point in time. In fact, almost all the fees stay the same. What we did is make a few changes to simplify fees. We were having a little bit of a problem, for instance, with some mechanical fees and some plumbing fees because they were people didn't know what they were supposed to be putting on. It was on the building permit, but the plumber didn't necessarily know what he was supposed to be indicating. So what we said is, let's just go to flat fees on almost all of our trades. And so in some cases they went up, the fees would have gone up, and in some cases down, but on average they stay the same. And then we did increase a few fees, primarily inspection fees and things that are only charged when someone is not, how do we want to say this, is not abiding by the rules. So usually we only charge re-inspection fees. We don't charge, if we go in and we do an inspection on a building and they have corrections, that's not a re-inspection fee for us to come back. They correct it, we come back, okay, you're good. The re-inspection fee is when they call in an inspection and they're not ready. When they call in an inspection and we get out there and they still haven't fixed what they were told to fix last time. It's things like that. It's really, it's not for mistakes, it's for intentional. We're not correcting the things that are supposed to be corrected. So I'll kind of go through, so yeah, we made the trade fees clearer and simpler, and then we introduced, and I'm kind of proud of this one, we have introduced lower fees for affordable housing projects, so that maybe we can save a little bit of money in our for our affordable housing program. But anybody that comes in with an affordable housing program can get their fees at well under half price. So just to go through some of the major changes, one of the things, and this isn't really a part of this resolution, although it's in the document, but I did want to mention it to you. So I think most of you are aware that our Wednesday afternoon cannabis pre-application meeting is very successful. We have gotten good reviews from across the state that we have one of the strongest programs in support of that industry. Because it was so successful, we've decided to expand that to all small businesses. So any small business person that's having trouble getting through the permitting process, they're welcome to come in on Wednesday afternoon and we'll help them. What we found is that most of the cannabis problems are just small business problems. They're no different than anyone else's. So that's on page 4. Page 7, we had the residential remodels and additions follow the commercial schedule. What we found is that sometimes you could come in and do your whole home. You'd come in and get a permit for $400 to build a home, and then you'd come in to do a carport or a porch on the back, and it would cost you $1,000. And it was a little strange. So what we did is we put all residential permits on the same schedule. We will be coming back. I know Larry's very concerned about this, that this remains a very low fee. And we will be coming back in the future to correct that 20 cents per square foot. But we had not done any outreach, so we didn't feel comfortable bringing that before you today, but we will the next time. There will be an increase to the residential fees. What else? At the bottom of that page, the expedited permitting, we clarified that. We were not getting, surprisingly, given all the complaints we get about how long it takes to get a permit, we get almost no one that asks for an expedited permit. So we lowered the price a little bit, and we clarified how to work it, and we'll see if we actually get some people taking advantage of that. On the next page, we clarified how to calculate a remodel area. I was surprised that very few people could figure that out, so we went to the International Existing Building Code and said, use this procedure in the IEBC to determine that. What else? If we go on to page 10, we didn't do anything with commercial fees. Page 10, we went to flat rates. The residential electric permit went to $150, and then the minor electrical went to $75, and that simplifies a little bit. And then you'll see your $65 for the affordable housing projects. Commercial fee on the electrical stayed the same. And then on the next page, the same for the mechanical and plumbing fees. It's just so much easier to just do the flat fee, and it balances out over time. So, and again, the affordable housing fees, in this case, much cheaper than the plumbing and mechanical fees. So as I say, that hopefully gives us a little bit of assistance to our home rehab program. All right, and then a few other little things. We removed a site cleanup fee because we didn't have any code to authorize it, so we couldn't charge it, so we just took it out. The sign permit fees, we did increase those slightly on page 12. They were very low, and so we've raised those slightly to consider staff time. The same with the same-day certificate of occupancy, and the mobile home installation fee, and the inspection fees. So we just raised those to account for increased costs, and so we also added a cover-up fee. What that means is if somebody is finishing let's say they're doing they're putting their framing in, and then they've put in their plumbing and electrical work behind the wall, and then they put up their drywall. That's what we call a cover-up. Or if you're doing a yard line for a sewer system or a water system, and you cover it up, and so we come out and say, well, we have to look at it. We're going to charge $120 for that, and then they have to come up with some way of showing us that it meets code. We're having a very big problem with that, and so we're looking to reduce the amount of cover-up that gets done. Remove traffic control fees, because that's not CDs, that's Public Works, so if they're going to charge them, they should have that. And then the last two things on the last page that we added was in the historic preservation. We added a demo without getting proper approvals, a $2,000 per building fee, and then a short-term rental fee of $50 per location. We are already registering short-term rentals, but this is just a fee that to allow us to recover costs. And that's all our changes, relatively minor in scope, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Looks like we have Councilor Graham, Bencomo, and Flores.
Thank you, Mayor. And this isn't directed at community development personally, just in the future, if it'd be possible to get red line versions of anything where changes are being proposed or suggested, just so when I'm doing my preparatory reading, the presentations are great, but I'd love to know in advance. So that's just a general request for anyone changing things. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Bencomo.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes, totally agree with that, Councilor Graham. Just one last question. The question on the last point, Dr. Pitts, is the short-term rentals. Can you say more about that? Can you give examples of what that is?
So short-term rentals, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilor Bencomo. The short-term rentals are the Airbnbs and other things that are registered through online services. And several years ago, it was decided by the legislature that we had the ability to regulate those. It was determined that those are subject to lodger's tax, because under the express reading of the ordinance on lodger's tax, they should be paying lodger's tax. So the only way for us to tax them is to know who they are. And so we have created a program through Visit Las Cruces to register them. And so the question is, are we going to charge them a fee to register and then pay lodger's tax, or are we just going to register them and pay lodger's tax? And staff's position was that we should be charging them a fee to register, because there's some work involved and staff time and so on.
How did you come up with the fee?
Connie, I can't remember where we came up with the $50. I believe I think it was just, we looked around. I know we were looking at other places, and I think we looked at what was a kind of a standard fee being charged.
Okay.
That's correct. I believe the county charges about $25, $35. And because we're better than the county, we charge more.
You heard it here first, folks. Thank you. Those are my questions. If it doesn't have to be in any formal, I would like to see numbers on, has there been an increase on Airbnb registrations that you've noticed in the last few months? I'm just curious if we can get some data on that, and if we could see any patterns out of that.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Bencomo, I know Visit Las Cruces has looked into that, and so, here's Rochelle to help us.
Hi, Rochelle Miller-Hernandez with Visit Las Cruces. Mayor, Councilor Bencomo. Yes, we've seen a significant increase actually when we first started looking at the services, or the Airbnbs out there, or the short-term rentals, right before we initiated the change for lodgers tax, we had about 100, and we have nearly 400 now. Wow. So it has increased. As part of this effort, as you know, lodgers tax is a self-reporting tax, but we are contracting with Granicus and through their host compliance program, and they'll be monitoring short-term rentals in our area, and through their metrics, they're able to tell if you, in most probability, did rent your unit, and then we will match it with our records to see if they're paying their taxes.
Okay.
This was something we initiated before the pandemic, but then, of course, everything shut down, so.
Okay, that's helpful, thank you. Yeah, if that information could get sent to us every once
Sure.
in a while, I think that would be helpful. I think given the current housing crisis we're experiencing, I'd be interested to know more about some of these short-term rentals. Thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We have Councilor Flores, Gondara, and then Coran.
Yes.
She wants to jump
My
in.
question is actually about short-term rentals too, so I don't know if it's, sorry, I just wanted to follow up. Sorry, thank you again for the presentation and for this, but my question was related to short-term rentals. I have had a significant number of complaints in my district from folks who report problematic short-term rental owners who regularly rent to large parties, have shootings, various stories of woe from those short-term rentals, and very little ability to achieve accountability for those because they're typically owned by people out of town and they don't know. So I didn't know that we were sort of keeping track of that in some capacity, so I'm curious if so it sounds like you're doing some reconciliation with what might be short-term rentals and what are, but is there a specific location that I can go, or a specific department that I could direct someone who had a problematic short-term rental in their neighborhood to sort of seek some accountability, or at least find out who owns it and maybe follow up with them on whatever that is?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Curran, I think the best bet is to go through, still to go through codes. Okay. And have them do it, but it will definitely be associated. They'll be going probably to Visit Las Cruces or to community development for assistance on making sure who this is. But I think codes is still your best your best bet.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry.
Mayor, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Mayor, Councilor Coran, also as part of the new service, there's a 24-hour hotline where people will be able to report what they feel may be codes violations or noise or anything like that.
Okay, that will actually be really helpful, so thank you. I'll let folks know of that. Thank you.
Councilor Coran, what I was going to say was if all you're looking for is who the owner is of the building, I can show you that using the county's website under the assessor's office. Pretty simple.
That would be good. Yeah. The general question was kind of direct. My constituents asked more generally, so I don't have the specific dirt on this particular place, but I would like to know that. That would be useful, so thank you.
When we have complaints, I'll look at that, and it'll show, obviously the house, but then it'll show the owner, and you can tell they do live out of town because the tax bill gets mailed out to someplace in California or something like that. Okay, we have Councilor Flores and then Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Dr. Pitts, and thank you, Ms. Miller-Hernandez. My district has homes that are being used as homes for people who are being rehabilitated or I know, anyway, but people are not happy with that. The neighbors aren't happy. And I received, and I've had 3 neighbors, and I see them all the time when I walk my dog, so I hear it all the time. And I told them that it was legal, that it was perfectly fine. I know that Larry issued a letter last summer to someone in my neighborhood, and it was very clear that it was perfectly legal. I think it's limited to 4 people per unit. I think the concern that my constituents have, as anybody would, is just not knowing who really belongs there. And not so much as to, I mean, I've actually seen elderly people sitting on the front porch and they're being taken care of by the caregiver there that's been hired to do that. And there really hasn't been any problem. There was a big problem on Palm Canyon, I think that you're all familiar with. And I think there's another continuing issue there. And so it's apropos of what Councilor Coran brought up. But I have a question, Dr. Pitts. You indicated that introduce lower fees for affordable housing well under half price. So my question is, if you're lowering fees, who is a recipient, who's the beneficiary of that lowering? Is it the developer, or is it passed on to the purchaser? Or do we know? Okay, so if it, okay, so if it's passed on to the builder, it must be passed on to the purchaser. And if it's passed on to the purchaser, how do we know that the builder is complying with that? Is my question clear?
I think so, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Flores, I think what you're asking is, you know, we're lowering the fees. Now, our general thought is, when we were thinking about this, was home rehab. So home rehab, they come in, they pull permits on electrical and plumbing and mechanical projects, and to give them the lower price. So it would be home.
So the owner of the affordable home.
Correct. And the contractor is the one that pays the contractor is the one that pays the fee, but that is transparent to us. Our home rehab people look at that, they price it, they are looking through it. So to me, it was, we're really having home rehab, or really the housing and neighborhood services section makes the determination of whether this is a project that meets that requirement or not. Because it's affordable housing, it is not workforce housing, it's not attainable housing, it's not, you know, it's affordable, meaning that it is low mod. Am I correct, Natalie? Is it low mod?
Still doesn't ask my question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Councilor Flores. So if community development is going to work with housing and neighborhood services on the implementation of the fee reduction, we will ensure that either the purchaser receives credit at the closing table or through our home rehab, because the city provides the funding for the loan, that the homeowner, that those fees would be applied to the final loan. So we can if the verification process means that the fee reduction is coming through in conjunction with staff to verify, we can ensure that that's...
So the city is involved with the closing papers?
In some instances, when we do provide impact fee waivers or funding for construction, we ensure that those cost savings are passed on to the homeowner at the closing table. When it's a funded or sponsored project through the Housing and Neighborhood Services section.
Great, thank you so much.
We'll work with community development on the implementation of that piece.
Oh, great. Thank you, Ms. Green. Dr. Pitts.
Excuse me, and that was Natalie Green that gave that testimony.
Yes, that was Natalie Green. Thank you, Ms. Green. So Tim, so thank you for your non-answer, and thank you for getting, just kidding. I always give you a bad time, Tim. But thank you, Dr. Pitts. My other question is, so you have fast track service for someone who wants to pay the extra money, correct?
Correct.
Whatever that fee is, $50, $100, whatever. So what happens to the mensch who's been waiting? And so someone comes up and kind of gets ahead of the line. So doesn't that create more of a problem for people who have already been waiting?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Flores, I understand your point, and you're correct. But we do not, what we do is we offer this as overtime for our staff to review.
Oh, I see.
So they are doing it outside of business
Outside of the
hours.
regular lineup?
Yes.
Oh.
And so that $1,000 is really just to pay our staff to do their thing. It's not, we don't get anything extra out of it. It's just to give our staff that extra money so that it expedites it for them.
So it costs $1,000 for a builder on one house to expedite the licensing process or the building process, which then has to be submitted for licensing.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Flores, you wouldn't do this on a house. A house already has a 3-day review at most. There's no purpose to expedite a home. It's almost always a large commercial. I give you a perfect example.
Yes, I understand. It's a large commercial development that it goes
Randy,
to. He was here, but he left.
He's left. Okay, well, Randy did it. And it was, he had red chilies on the vine. They were about to start dehydrating, and he makes fresh red chili salsa. And so he's trying to pick them, and he didn't have his building finished, so we did this expedited process and got him. He actually got us harvest in that he made a thing that year. We got him done in about a couple weeks. I think it was 2 weeks or something like that.
Great.
And another one we did got it done. I think it was 5 days. I think and that was all waiting on the engineers to sign off.
Mm-hmm.
We were signed off. We were ready. If the engineers, then we were good. So yeah. The people I've talked to really say that that's not a bad price, but for some reason, not many people are wanting. I think it's because, I'll be with the county, we're already the best in the state in terms of what we do. So, you know, it's...
Really, is that an objective fact, that we're the best? I mean, subjectively, I agree with you, but you're saying we're the best. So on the record, are you saying that we're objectively the best?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Flores, yes, I believe we're the best building department in the state.
Thank you, Dr. Pitts. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor. But I thought you were a proponent of Fast Pass. You tell me when you go to Disneyland, you always buy Fast Pass. And
I don't go to Disneyland anymore.
You never do it any other way. Yeah.
I don't know. Disneyland, when I was a kid, it used to be free,
messing with
so there was no Fast Pass. It used to be free to get into Disneyland, believe it or
Really?
not.
That was-
The only thing you couldn't do was...
I thought it was like $1. So
No,
yours
not even
was
$1.
Yours was even before that?
That was back in 19-something. And
Walt Disney was just a kid.
Walt Disney was old enough, but, or maybe grandpa, but it was free, and the only thing you couldn't do was take in your own food. You had to buy their concession food. It was free. Thank you.
I think they were just telling you that. You just snuck in, so I'm just messing with you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Pitts. Could you turn to slide 5, please? I was a little concerned about this slide and some of the removal of the cleanup fee and the reasons why. And can you give me an instance when that happens? And I would think it must not happen enough, or that it's worth doing putting together a code, Dr. Pitts? Just concerned.
Mr.
We have a
Mayor.
lot of that kind of remedial work or work to clean up, and I would assume that causes issues, environmental issues and such. So I'm concerned about that.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Gondra, yeah, that's why we introduced it in the first place, is that I was concerned about that, and the problem is we couldn't use it. We couldn't use it because we didn't have a code to justify it. So just because we had a fee, that we don't go in and clean up sites. We regulate them, and so we go and we take them to court. And we didn't have a way of doing that. We've been working on ideas of how to do that for years, and just right now haven't come up with a great way. I hope to bring something back in the coming years, maybe in the next year or so. We're just hiring a new environmental compliance officer, and so hopefully when that person gets on board, we can come back with something that works. But I think our code enforcement process on these sorts of things really needs some teeth. And right now, we don't really have the teeth, and this one wasn't providing us any. I'm happy to put it back in the minute we have the ability to enforce it. But we couldn't figure out how to enforce it. We didn't have anyone to clean it up. We didn't have, it's been a problem. But I definitely agree with you. I didn't take it out because I thought it wasn't helpful. I took it out because I didn't think that it was something we could enforce we could charge right now.
So who's the onus on? The person the commercial, the residential, someone who will dump, and you don't know who that person is. I mean, and then you might do an investigation. I guess I'm very concerned about this. I don't think we should have a code, and maybe we need to work on that, like, immediately. I do get complaints about this sort of thing, particularly on job sites. For example, I'll say all that, the site over off of Avenida de Mesilla with that hotel, it's all torn down, but it's just sitting there, and it's been sitting for quite a while, and I would think codes needs to go out there. I'm concerned about not having a code. We should get a code. Isn't that what Realize Las Cruces is doing too? And so concerned about that, and I won't belabor the issue. I'm just concerned, and we get a lot of these complaints, and I'm just trying to understand this piece of it. The next one is the one that I wrote the inspection fees are raised to discourage need for re-inspections. So what I hear regularly is, and around this issue, is that you have a certain amount of inspectors. Maybe one inspector goes out, and then closer to the end, another inspector goes out, and there's all this debate about, nope, I want you to move it. That example you gave have been issues and concerns because we don't have the same inspector inspecting the same project because there's just so many, and you might be overloaded. And so is that still happening? And I would think that if we raise the inspection, I would like to see an FTE come out of it so that we can help build the number of inspectors that you have at community development.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Gondra, we just recently added our 9th inspector this past year, and we will be adding this year our building official. So that'll give us 11 people in that section able to do plan review and inspections. And so at this point, we think we are right-sized for inspection, but that's adding 3 positions in the past 3 years.
Yes.
So that's not nothing. That's a pretty large increase that we've had in that section. So I understand your concern. The